Nintendo Power Magazine gave kids a chance to win a walk-on role in the sequel to The Mask. And a kid did win it, and then they didn't make the movie. So what happened? Did the kid get screwed? Let's dig into it. The Mask, released in 1994. Remember that? Jim Carrey puts on this green mask and he gets all crazy and wacky? It was a great comedy for the time. In fact, I don't know any actor that had a better year first starting out. Sure, Jim Carrey was on The Living Color, and he was in that Deadpool movie, not the MCU one, but the other one, and he was in What's Bitten and some other movies and stuff like that, but he never was a major star. In 1994, he had three: The Mask, Ace Ventura, and Dumb and Dumber, starred in all three, and they were massive hits. I don't know other actor that busted onto the scene like that. But as much as The Mask was a hit, you know they want to do a sequel to it. After all, they did a god-awful Ace Ventura sequel, and not only did they do a sequel, they did a video game and a comic book. Well, it was based on a comic book already, and they also did a cartoon series. But they wanted to get Mask 2 in production pretty fast. And they wanted people to know, hey, there's a Mask sequel coming out. So what did they do? Well, they worked to deal with Nintendo Power. What was Nintendo Power? You don't have to ask. It was the go-to Nintendo game of the 80s and the 90s. Anyone had a Nintendo, especially in the early days, before people were getting all on the internet, they had Nintendo Power. It started in 1988 with Mario and Claymation right there on the cover with Wart. I think that was his name, Wart. Mario. Did they ever have that guy? Why ain't he in Mario Kart stuff? They just don't. I don't know why Wart gets the short end of the stick. Anyway, Nintendo Magazine was the go-to magazine. Clues on games, secrets of the games, tips on the games, maps. Didn't you love those maps? They came in handy. And they would do contests. Every once in a while they run a contest. I never entered one. I don't think I've ever entered a contest ever. But there was a contest to win a walk-on part of Mask 2. Now let's be honest, this wasn't going to be a speaking line. He wasn't going to be like the Cameron Diaz of Mask 2. Probably in the background somewhere just walking by. But as a kid, a Jim Carrey movie and a sequel Mask, what kid wouldn't want to win that? Hell, what adult wouldn't want to win that? I know people in their 90s that would want to win that. So, a kid entered, and he won. He won. And then Jim Carrey said he didn't want to do a Mask sequel. I don't know why. I mean, he did Ace Ventura sequel. Wasn't really that good to me. The first one was a little bit more funnier. But I guess he was ready to move on. Didn't want to, do the same roles over and over again. So production stopped. Now before you say, hey, there's a sequel to The Mask. It's called The Son of the Mask. It was released around 2005 or 2001. I don't know. It's crap. It's awful. It's not really connected to the other movie. It's one of those sequels all you let do, just capitalize on the name. So no, the kid didn't win that. I guess he could have held out for it. But let's dig into the story. What happened to the kid that won this great prize and then got the shaft? Well, it started in volume 77 of Nintendo Power Magazine, October 1995. There, in that magazine, they were going to give just one lucky winner a chance to be in The Mask 2. Now, what happened to the kid that entered this contest? Well, his name was Nathan Runk. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not good with names. I'm pretty sure I got the Nathan right, but Runk, R-U-N-K. It's like punk with an R. It's like that remember that superhero that changed the letters? Letterman? No, not David Letterman. Remember Letterman? He changed the letter at the beginning? Like if we were playing baseball, he changed the B to, I don't know, a C, and then they're playing baseball with a cat, and then remember that? Well, he wouldn't change it. He would fix it. Anyway, let's get on to this story here. Most of you probably don't remember Letterman. Let's put him in the MCU. And today's poster, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's right, the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones, movieposters.com. High quality posters, original or reprints. You can get them at movieposters.com. In fact, I'll give you 10% off if you use the link in the description below. Indiana Jones. We got one more next week. What will it be? Find out next Monday. Nathan was 12 years old at the time, and he said he never really entered into any of those contests that he saw on Nintendo Power. He said out of 7 or so years, he may have entered a dozen of them. To me, that sounds like a lot. I don't know. That sounds like a lot, but maybe not. He said he only entered the ones that really got him excited. Anything with Jim Carrey was right on his radar. I mean, this was the right time to be in the Jim Carrey movies. I was a little older, I still liked them, but if you were like 12, 14, you saw Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask, you thought it was better than The Jerk. Crazy, but yeah, some people probably thought that. And I like the Cable Guy. Why does the Cable Guy get so much hate? I love the Cable Guy. Anyway, let's continue with this story. When in a month or so, Nathan was notified that he had won the contest. And every few months, Nintendo would call him up to keep him informed about the new developments into the Mask sequel. And who was the lady that kept calling him, keeping him up to date? Well, her name was Leslie Swan. And she was the voice of Peach, Princess Peach, in Mario 64. Oh, what a great voice to hear on the phone, right? When it was obvious that this movie was never going to happen, again because Jim Carrey pulled out, Nathan wasn't completely out of the loop. A letter was sent to him from THQ. They were the makers of the Mask Super Nintendo video game. The letter read, "I'm sorry that the filming of The Mask 2 has been postponed and that we're not able to send you to the set. Enclosed, please find an official crew jacket for The Mask 2 that was supplied by New Line Cinema. Additionally, I have included a few new Super Nintendo games for your collection. Thank you for your patience with this promotion." See, he got something. He got more than what Jerry Reed got when he got divorced. You know why? Because Jerry Reed got the shaft. Yeah, she got the gold mine. He got the shaft. She gets alimony, and he's working 3 shifts eating bologna. But what else did he get? Not only did he get a crew jacket for The Mask 2 and a bunch of games, he got $5,000. And that ain't no pocket change. Unless maybe your pockets belong to Bill Gates. He says that they gave him a chance to take the cash or just wait for the sequel to be made. He took the cash. Good call, Nathan. And he said when he was on the phone with Nintendo, they did ask him if there was anything else he wanted. He told them they really wanted the game Pilot Wing 64 for his new Nintendo 64. And in less than a week, he got that Pilot Wing game and a $5,000 check. Now it said that he could wait, not take the money, he could wait if a sequel ever comes up, he would be in it. So could he have got a walk-on role for The Mask 2 that's called Son of Mask, that god-awful movie that's not really like a sequel? What do you have to say about that? He said at the time he would be okay doing a walk-on for Son of Mask, because then he didn't know how awful it was going to be. But knowing how bad it is now, he's glad he took the $5,000. I don't blame you, because that movie's god-awful, and I don't blame you. I'd much rather have $5,000 than have to walk around on that set. I know someone in the comments is going to say, "Joe, man, it's not that bad. It's actually kind of funny. It's got a baby, plus the mask on." No, it's god-awful. But once it was clear there was no sequel, did Nintendo Power put it in their magazine and tell all the other kids? Or were they worried that kids wouldn't enter contests if they said, "Hey, this kid didn't win his prize, but he got something else"? Well, they didn't really say nothing. That wasn't until the very last issue of Nintendo Power. But they didn't put Nathan's name in print so he could have fortune and glory. They just put, "To whoever won the contest, sorry." It would have been nice if they put his name in there so he could at least, show his grandkids, look, I'm Nathan, I'm the Nathan they're talking about. But they did give him money, they gave him a bunch of games, they gave him a crew jacket, which would be kind of cool. I mean, it's a crew jacket to a movie, a popular movie that never got made, Mask 2. It would be kind of cool to have, but Nathan says he doesn't know what happened to that jacket. It's gone. He could have put it on eBay and probably got at least $75 for it. Well, what about Nathan today? Well, he lives a short distance away from his childhood home, and he admits he's not a huge gamer as he once was. But he still likes to play around a Mario Kart 8 now and then. But some of you may have always wondered, what happened to that kid that won a walk-on to that movie that never got made? Did he get the shaft? Was he the Jerry Reed of Nintendo Power? Well, it turns out he wasn't. He got a lot more than a bologna sandwich. In fact, he probably got the better end of the deal. They probably rushed him onto a set. Jim Carrey probably wouldn't even have been there. It'd probably been some boring scene. They let him walk by real quick in the background. He would have been in and out. Wasted a lot of his time. I think he was better with $5,000, a crew jacket that he can't find, a box of Nintendo games, and $5,000. Hopefully he invested that money into more Nintendo games.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.